Benito Mussolini, Italian prime minister turned dictator who was in power from 1922 to 1943. Most famously known as the founder of the fascist movement, he created the National Fascist Party in 1921. Its goal was to eliminate social class discrimination and strengthen nationalism to restore glory and power to Italy. Mussolini planned for the fascist party to rise to power by demanding the current government to step down and be replaced by his own fascist government. In 1922, Italy was in a state of economic and political chaos. In a series of riots called the Marches on Rome, Mussolini empathized with the Italian people's discontent with their current government and political situation, and declared that he was the only person who could bring Italy back to its days of order and prosperity. Fearing a revolution, King Victor Emmanuel III appointed Benito Mussolini Italian Prime Minister in October 1922. As Prime Minister, he made quick work in reducing unemployment, which made him very popular with the Italian people. He also dissolved democratic institutions, and by 1925 had effectively removed the Italian parliament. Mussolini declared himself dictator, dubbed himself Il Duce, and had reduced King Emmanuel III to a figurehead. During his time in power, Mussolini focused his resources on building his military and expanding the Italian Empire to Africa, which put Italy in an even bigger deficit. He made a military cooperation pact with Germany's Adolf Hitler, which soon after dragged Italy into the World War as Germany declared war on France and Britain. After suffering huge military failures from 1940 to 1943, the Italian people had had enough of Mussolini. King Victor Emmanuel invoked his powers and dismissed him. Mussolini tried to escape to Germany, but was arrested and taken back to Italy, where he met his gruesome death by execution and was hung in a plaza for the world to see. Mussolini had left Italy in ruins, in the midst of a world war, a confusion of leadership, and an economic battle at home. But what if the Italians had overthrown Mussolini earlier? The Italians had reason to overthrow Mussolini when he began devoting the nation's resources to the military and foreign conquests. One of the reasons Mussolini did so was to divert the Italians' attention from the miserable conditions back home. This plan only made it worse for conditions. Assuming they had gotten rid of Mussolini when he began these conquests, he would never have been able to make the Pact of Steel with Hitler, which would in turn never have made Italy obligated to join World War II. This obviously would have had huge impacts for Italy's future, the outcome of the war, and, naturally, what happened after the war. Since Germany would not have had Italy as its unconditional ally, Hitler might not have been so brazen in declaring war on France and Britain in 1939. Hitler's ability to carry out his plans would have been hindered or even stopped. This would have changed the outcome of the war in so many possible ways. Also, Italy would be in a better economic condition today. After going from an economic crisis to plunging into war for nearly 5 years, Italy's bank was hurting. Not being involved in the war would have been extremely helpful to their situation. Lastly, since Italy would not have been involved in the war, foreign relations would have been improved. Italy would be on better terms with other countries today. Mussolini getting overthrown before he signed the Pact of Steel with Hitler could have happened, and it could have saved Italy from involvement in the war and changed the outcome of history.